Hello, gentlemen. I welcome you all to this session. For the past few, not few, for a lot of sessions, we are just going by this top 10 ancient Greek philosophers, and up to the sixth philosopher, as per in our book Zeno. Video link was provided to you, and for Pythagoras, PDF file was provided to you, and also I asked you if you want means I can just go by the link, as you are Alhamdulillah well got an comprehension about Pythagoras. I think we can skip Pythagoras and just we can go by Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, and Thales, the other philosophers who are given in our book according to their numbers, according to our book. Okay, the fourth philosopher in our book is Socrates, the third one is Plato, and the second one is Aristotle, and the first one it is in the Thales. Okay, actually I think it is in a descending order. Okay, now today in this session we will try to see these four philosophers. Okay, if not, we will try our best, at least we finish minimum two, that is Socrates and Plato. As we are running, as the time is skipping out, okay, I will just go by the book. Apart from that, if you have got any doubt or anything that you wish to like, please comment in your box, that is in the classroom, Google Classroom, to you, either specific or in general. Inshallah, accordingly I will try to help you out, either video link or any notes. I will help you guys, inshallah. Okay, we will see the Socrates number 4. Okay, please gentlemen, these numbers, okay, randomly they have given. Okay, don't have a misconception regarding with these numbers. Okay, they may differ, but we have given the numbers according to my that is what is the department of English. We have just given the numbers randomly. Okay, uh, okay, the Socrates. Let me come to the point. Let us not waste the time unnecessarily. Okay, Socrates, the six great philosophers that already we saw: Parmenides, Anaxagoras, Anaximander, so on, so Zeno, Pythagoras. They are pre-Socratic period philosophers. Okay, all you might have saw that thing, and according to what was in our book, that I captured the photo and I was able to display on the screen. Okay, in that one, if you have saw means all those things that all the philosophers we saw, they belong to pre-Socratic era. If you ask me means, I will tell you that English language or literature, we can divide it into two. Okay, just like how we say BC, AC. Okay, just like before Shakespeare and after Shakespeare. As a literary man, somewhat I know that the difference between the difference before Shakespeare and after Shakespeare to the language English. Okay, all the philosophers that we saw, they are before Socrates, and today we are going to see the great personality, the very eminent and great philosophers. One of the Greek great philosophers is Socrates. Okay, and as I told you, as I gave just I told you that through me, English can be divided before Shakespeare or after Shakespeare. Okay, just like that, these philosophers of ancient Greek, they can be divided into two categories, as before Socrates and after Socrates. Okay, so that is the role of Socrates in Greek philosophy. And one more thing, gentlemen, that you please don't get a misconception that only Greek alone we have got the philosophers. Okay, we have got no Indian philosophers or other Asian philosophers. Okay, or other continental, their what is it, their native philosophers. It is not so, because the very next lesson of our unit is about what is that, great Indian philosophers. Now, like how we are seeing top 10 ancient Greek philosophers, like that, the next one, that is the third lesson in the first unit, is the great Indian philosophers. In that one we will see, inshallah, what the Indian philosophers, okay, accordingly they have said. Okay, and these people are from Greek. Okay, the Greek, if you see, means it is the first empire, I think so. Okay, because I am not an history person, that what I have learned is that the Greek is the first empire which existed before 3000 years or 4000 years before, and after that this Persian Empire and Roman Empire, Ottoman Empire, all these empires, Britain Empire, okay, these empires, they existed. And now you know the ground level, the reality. Okay, so Socrates, he belongs to Greek, and what he has, what type of what he says is his philosophy, and who Socrates is. Okay, because we have discussed pre-Socratic era, and let us see what this man's contribution to the philosophy, to his Greek empire, not to Greek empire he belongs to. Okay, that is a very old person, and very renowned person from the field of philosophy. Okay, okay, let us go by the text. Socrates embarked on a whole new perspective of achieving practical results through the application of philosophy in our daily lives. Okay, so what here, the first point, or else the first thing what I read here is that his perspective of achieving practical results. Okay, first the persons whoever came, they talked about the universe, okay, the existence of being or non-being. They were all are pagans. Okay, and these persons are also there, are pagans. Okay, and they said, whereas the difference between the Anaximander or whoever, the pre-Socratic era philosophers and Socrates, is that they just given the theory. Okay, this man here, he emphasized or he asks the theory to get apply in our daily life, to get apply in our daily life. That is what the thing in which he differs according to him. Okay, Once again I will read out. Let me see whether you understand or not. Please give your comment. Okay, I will try level best to make you comprehend in a better way, in specific or in general. Okay, so once again I will read out. Socrates embarked on a whole new perspective. Okay, new perspective. First the people who came, they just gave their theory. They never asked either to apply or whatever it is. Okay, what is the understanding? I told you that they were pagans. Okay, so if you see means Pythagoras, we have got a theorem, I think so. Okay, in Max is there. Please don't think only Pythagoras is the person who has contributed to the Max. Okay, and also you can think what is the role of Max in philosophy. Okay, actually, uh, these people, okay, they don't just only go by Max. Okay, they go by physics. Okay, they go by universe, astronomy. Okay, and why these people, all these that is the philosophers, they are talking about this universe, about what is it, Max, about physics. Okay, what is the reason is just they want to find out who is their creator, or what is the supernatural power it is there. Okay, they thought that there is something. Okay, for that these people, they approached in the different ways or different schools. And the school is that these people, through which they got a theory, the philosophy for a life. Okay, yeah, for life. And that is why yeah, in some specific in one field, they may be specific. For example, if you see means this Pythagoras in Max. Okay, why I say Pythagoras means in Max, which we are familiar. If you take Parmenides, whether he is not specific in any other field or any other what is it, philosophy, thought of school means, no, it is not so. Okay, this what is it, Parmenides and Anaxagoras. Okay, metaphysics. Okay, the related to the physics or whatever it is. Okay, metaphysics, or else if you can these are the four branches. Already we saw that the philosophy, isn't it? Metaphysics, epistemology, axiology, and logic. Okay, and this man Pythagoras, why I am insisting Pythagoras is because in from our India, I think you know there is a one genius. There was a genius whom we call as Aryabhatta. Yeah. Okay. The purpose of saying Aryabhatta or Pythagoras is that actually Aryabhatta, Max was his main field, but for Pythagoras, Max is one of his school for the philosophy. Okay, but this both of them, they have contributed for the subject maths. Okay, whereas Pythagoras, what is it? Ultimatum is to have a philosophy of a life, to see that is a way through which, a medium. Okay, whereas for to my understanding, okay, Aryabhatta, he was the person who contributed in the subject max, especially by inviting or by giving the zero. Yeah, probably you may be aware of these things. Okay, let me not deviate. Okay, let me come back to Socrates. So Socrates, how he differs, that he just doesn't use only philosophy, only the theory, but also he asks to apply in our daily life. Okay, and it continues. something that was largely missing in the approach of pre-Socratic philosophy. Okay, so application was not before Socrates, only theory was there, whereas Socrates and after him, the philosophers practiced, that is, what is that, they applied in their daily life, and also they gave it as a theory. Okay, he openly moved away from the relentless physical speculations that previous philosophers had been so busy interpreting and assimilating, and attempted to establish an ethical system based on human reasoning rather than various theological doctrines. Yeah, I think you know what are the doctrines. Okay, principles. So from this reading, what I can understand is that from these lines, that the pre-Socratic philosophers, whoever came, they just gave the philosophy or doctrines or whatever is needed to give to live a good life. Whereas Socrates, he is not of the type like his predecessors. Okay, he applied, okay, that is whatever the doctrine, that is the principles that he devised or he told that could be good for the human, what is it, human race. Okay, he practiced it also, and in practicing the principles or doctrines or whatever the philosophy, the theory, that how he or whoever it is, okay, applicable to the common human race. Okay, it is not only what is it, for Socrates or only for Greek people. It is not so, it is for universe. Okay, the philosophy, whatever. For example, that it comes into my mind, that somewhere I have read that if you go on and if you saw any hurdle on your way and you just clean it out, or that is, you put it away, means that is considered as a good deed. Yeah, good action. Okay, so why I am saying this is that the people before Socrates, they just gave the theory, just clean the way. Okay, that's it out. Whereas Socrates, he applied, that is, he practiced it. Okay, he put it into daily use of his life, and he showed that it is possible for all the human race in this universe. This is what the point, gentlemen, that I have understand. Okay, if you have got understand, alhamdulillah. If not, miss, please raise your questions through this classroom, Google Classroom podium. Inshallah, I will try to tell you, I try to explain. Okay, okay, let us start reading book. As per book, I will read out. Instead of ideas based solely on his individual interpretations, he would question people relentlessly on their beliefs and try to find definitions of virtues by conversing with anyone proclaiming to possess such qualities. Okay, so he would ask, and what are their beliefs and whether they are practicing it or not, and what the qualities to practice that they possess. Okay, something like testing. Okay, like a lab rat, or sorry, lab test. Okay, Socrates became a key figure and amassed numerous followers. Okay, he got a lot of followers, but he also made many enemies. It has got its own history. If you are interested, please let me know. I will give you the reason in my next video, or else we will skip it out. Okay, enemies. Eventually, his beliefs and realistic approach to philosophy led to his execution. Yeah, execution. But one might argue that his philosophical martyrdom, more than anything else, turned him into the icon that he is today. Okay, gentlemen, in today's session also, we were not able to finish two philosophers. I told you that we will find out whether we can finish up to Plato, but it was not. Okay, inshallah, next session we will see. Hope you might have enjoyed. Thank you. See you. Bye.